Hey, Damian Ellis here. Welcome to part two of the training, How Making Money Online Really Works. Again, once you go through this training, you will have the information, you'll have the foundation, you'll have the blueprint that it takes that if you take action on this information that you're learning, if you will take action, remain consistent, persistent, and you have patience, you will be able to earn a full-time income right from the comfort of your own home. So yesterday we talked about the value exchange. We talked about step number one on how to make money online is to find a market that you want to serve, find a market that's unhappy over here, and you want to get them or provide them with the solution that will take them over to where they have a big smile on their face, where their problem is fixed. That's called the value exchange, and that is the first step that it takes when it comes to making money online. The first step is not to just join some kind of program. The first step is not to buy some kind of product. The first step is not to just follow somebody because they said that, hey, just do this and you're going to make a whole bunch of money, because the foundation is what's missing. And it's a shame that so many people advertise and so many people come across that way. And that's why so many people feel like that they've been scammed. But this particular training is going to provide you with the blueprint that if you've never made any money online, you'll be able to take this information and get to where you're making a full-time income online. And if you've already been online for a while and you've been struggling, it's probably because you haven't had the proper foundation taught to you in order to make money online. That's why only a certain amount of people are making a ton of money online, because they're not sharing that blueprint. Only certain people have this blueprint. So consider yourself blessed and fortunate to be here on this training. But today we're going to be talking about your friends list. We're going to be talking about an audience. Now, an audience is like the first step or the first part of the most important portion of making money online. If you leave this step out here, you will not make money on a consistent basis online. You may make a little money here and there, but if you leave this part out of making money online, you will not be able to make a consistent living, a consistent amount of money online. How do I know that? I know it because every successful 6- and 7-figure online income earner uses this step, uses all four of these steps, but their main step and their main goal is this particular step. This is the first part of the most important part of your online business. So stay tuned. Again, turn off all distractions. Let this sink in. Make sure that you are doing this particular step no matter what you're promoting online, because this is the start of your business. So watch and learn.
Hey, this is Coach Larry, and this is part two in a 4-part series on how making money online really works. If you have not seen part one, simply go to our blog and find the link to check out part one, where I break down basically what we call the value exchange. And now what I'm going to do is, doing part two, add to what we covered the first time so you can better understand your next steps to making money online. So in our previous video, we talked about the value exchange. Today we're going to talk about list building, the next step in the process of you making money online. Now in our last video, we left off explaining the power of the value exchange. So we're going to pick it up where we left off last time. So now we understand that we've helped this person get a solution to a problem. What's the next logical step that you should take? Well, it's a call to action. And what I mean by a call to action is at the end of your content, you want to now invite this person to continue the conversation or to get more of the same type of training in order for you to continue helping them. And the way you do that is by giving them a special offer that they can consume. This is the foundation of what we call list building. In other words, if you do step one correctly, the natural evolution would be for that person to want more information or help from you. I mean, think about it. It's only It only makes sense. If you've helped me on one level and there's more help that I'm going to need down the road, why wouldn't I want to listen to you more? And that's exactly how building your list is truly easy for those that know what they're doing. So let's now break down the next principle called list building. In our previous example, we were using first-time fishermen as our target market of who we want to serve. What we did the last time is we talked about bait. We provided a solution, and now what we want to do is make an offer to continue the conversation, as I call it. Now that offer is where you're going to send them to a website, and on that site they're going to give you their contact info. Once they give you their contact information, that should include at the very least an email address. So when we talk about the offer, we're talking about, let's go from bait. So if we talked about bait, is it likely that this person may need information on the actual pole, hooks, ponds or lakes that are biting for the fish that they want? What type of stuff should they need at night? There's any number of things that you could offer them. So that could be, for example, that could be a mini course. That could be a mini training video. It could be any number of things, but the goal is for them to come to your website now that you started the ball rolling and get them to take whatever your offer is from whatever your website location is. And once they give you their email address, they are now on what we call a list. Now, what do I mean by a list? When you create your website, you're going to have a mechanism on your website where they'll be able to put their email address in. And once they place their email address in there, it'll be housed on a software platform such as Aweber or SendLane, GetResponse, Constant Contact. There's a number of different companies that provide this service. Don't worry about that today from a technical standpoint. Just understand that when someone gives you their email address, there is a way that you can now stay in contact with that person. So the reason why you want to collect the list is because you want to now begin to deliver additional value, first and foremost, the thing that you offered to begin with. But as you'll see in our next video, there are other things which we alluded to that person is going to need in order to stay connected to you. Be warned though, this is the point at which most people try to pitch or promote or sell too quickly and too aggressively. And if you do that at this stage of the game, you run the risk of that person running off. This is the beginning of a beautiful relationship as long as you don't go too fast. So to bring the point home, just like in our previous example, we had somebody walking around with a box with something broken. Your goal is to get more people just like that added to your list, because what you want to do is accumulate enough people on the list that are of like mind or like challenges that you can deliver enough value to. Everybody here, you're delivering a fix. All right, so everybody here got on the list because you offered them a fix that they took advantage of. Now your goal is to create an opportunity for you to build authority and credibility with them by continuing adding value to them, which we'll talk about in our next video. But just understand, that's the whole idea behind a list. Now, one thing you'll hear people say about a list is that the money is in the list. That's partially true. The real money is not in just accumulating a list. It's in developing a relationship so that some people on the list will become what I like to call an audience. Now, this is where you get excited. When you have an audience, what that means is when you start sending emails out to this list of people, those that are part of your audience, the ones that are starting to like you, love you, follow you, will begin to click on those emails and open them up. They'll come to your YouTube channel and watch your videos and subscribe. They'll come to your Facebook Lives and attend those. They'll get on your webinars or conference calls. That is where the money is. So what will happen is there'll be a few people who jump out from this list that you're building, and they'll decide, there'll be a few people in here that'll decide to start following your content on a regular basis because they love it so much, right? It's not going to be 100%. Sometimes people come and get what they came for, and that's the last time you'll hear from them, or they'll get off the list, and that's fine. Don't worry about that. There's plenty of people that you can replace them with if you continue to find people walking around with a box of something broken that you can fix. It's just that simple. So now your goal is simple. How many people can you get in front of with your fix? How many people can you find that have a broken thing that needs that fix? That is how you start to build a massive list of the kinds of people you want to serve in your market. In our next video, we're going to break down relationship building and authority, which is the last frontier before you have an opportunity to make a quality offer that turns into money. That concludes part 2. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for part 3, where we dig into relationship building and authority establishment, which is the last step to you making money. Before you go, I want to encourage that you find the link or the image on this page and go get a free copy of this book. The principles that you're learning in this training series are in this book and much, much more. Make sure to like, share, and comment and subscribe to our channel. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for part 3 of this series. Until then, go forth in victory. I'll see you soon.
Okay, so now we know part 1, you're going to find an audience that you're going to serve. You're going to provide them with a fix to their problem. That fix, that initial fix, is what initially allows them, your audience, to know who you are, at least to know of you, and it kind of makes them feel good. So where you go from there is step number 2. They know you a little bit. You start to make them feel good, just a little bit, make them feel good about you. And then the next step, the next logical step, is step 2, is to build a list of friends. And the way you do this is you offer them the opportunity to continue the relationship with you by offering them an additional fix to something that they may have broken in exchange for their email list. The way you do that is you're going to build a one-page website. It's called a squeeze page or an opt-in page, or a landing page. You build that page, and on that page you will be able to advertise that additional fix that you're offering them in exchange for their email address. And what they do is they put their email address in that box if they want that additional fix that you're advertising. And when they do that and hit the continue button, their email address is sent to a database called an autoresponder. An autoresponder is a piece of software that sits on your computer that you own. It's a database of email addresses, sometimes names, sometimes even more information than names and emails, but don't worry about that now. But you will own that database. So once you start building this huge list, and it's commonly stated that the money is in the list. So that means the larger the list you build, the more money you can make, or potentially make. And the reason being is because when you build a list, you build something called distribution. When you have distribution, you can funnel any product, service, company, or anything that you want down through that distribution list. That's why I said this is the start of the most important part of your business. Step number 3 is going to be the most important part, because people say the money is in the list, but the money is actually in the relationship that you have with your list. But when you have a list, you start to build something called distribution. Let me give you an example of how powerful distribution is. McDonald's has distribution, and in 1972, when McDonald's introduced breakfast, they introduced a new product, a new service. They doubled their revenues in a matter of 1 calendar year. And the reason is because they have distribution. They already had a customer base that knew who they were, that had already tried them out, the same that you have in place once you've provided a fix. So once you build your list, you build distribution. Now, the most important part is what you do with that distribution, what you do with that list. And that's what comes next in the next part of our training that I'll be sending to you in the next couple of days. But for now, let this sit, let this sink in. Find an audience that you want to serve, give them a fix, start to try and build a relationship with them by offering them something else. Offer them something else in exchange for their email so that you can start collecting email addresses of people that are of like mind and have like interest. And then we'll get to step number 3. In this email somewhere or on this page, I'm going to leave a link where you can get a free autoresponder trial. Again, that's the database that all of the emails that you collect are going to go into, and I'm also going to leave that link for that legendary marketer book. And this legendary marketer book is a book. It's a $99 value. You can get it for free if you like. It's only $9 and something to have the book shipped to you, but it's packed with great information. But whatever you do, just make sure that these steps that you're learning sink in, because these steps are going to change your life if you take action on them. So I appreciate you watching part 2 of this training, and I'll see you in the next video in the next couple of days. We'll have part 3 and part 4, which are the last 2 parts of this training. Thanks a lot and have a blessed day.